Yo, what's up, everybody? Dr. D, welcome to another episode at Biohax. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about some crazy interventions that you could do in this new year to improve your life, increase performance, get the body that you want. Listen, it's the first podcast of the new year. Everybody just celebrated their new year, and Happy New Year to everybody. So how should we start off our new year? We should start off our new year with a great New Year's resolution, which I'm sure you guys already have a bunch, and hopefully health is the number one, because I will tell you guys, health is the number one thing that you should chase. And think about this for a second. We're so inculcated to chase wealth, chase riches, chase sparkly things, to chase that big bank account. And as time passes, only a few of us achieve those. Others stay incessantly obsessing over these things. And ultimately, many of those people that do achieve these things, and everybody that does or does not achieve these things, at the end of their life would trade all their material things for some more health or for some quality of life towards the end of their life. See, you're born with this infinite bank account that has all these beautiful cells of health, has all this amazing energy. In your childhood, just think of how wealthy your bank account of health is when you're born, when you're brought to this planet. In your adolescent years, in your teenage years, how healthy and wealthy are you? That's ultimately what you need in this life to achieve everything that you want. Your stores of energy, your stores of vitality. I love that word, vitality. You're born with so much of that. You have so much of that in your younger years, in your adolescent years, in your pubescent years, in your young adulthood. But then you start to lose that as you become more conscious of the material things that you do not have. As you become more conscious of the career goals that you want to achieve, as you become more conscious of everything that you want to achieve that is fleeting and passing on this planet. But the true gift of life already was given to you, already was bestowed upon you, which is the gift of health. And time passes and it runs out. And we get subdued by all the flashy lights, all the targets that are put in front of you for you to achieve in this life. And you start to forget about your health. And you start to forget the small things that your health requires, which is proper nutrition, which is proper sleep, which is proper supplementation of resources for your body to work. And you're focused on achieving high-end goals. You're focused on supplying what your family needs. You're focused on achieving your personal goals. You're focused on your career. You're focused on a million other things, and you put your health on the back burner because that bank account feels very, 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 very replete and full for you. But I'm going to tell you something. Some of you guys in different walks of life already have started to feel that bank account's not so full. Some of you have gotten an extremely bad notice that that bank account is depleted and there's creditors knocking at your door in the form of disease. Some of you are at a point in time where you're getting the gentle nudge from other people's experiences of being sick, from other people's experiences of not having health, that you have to focus on your health. And I will tell you, start this year, guys. Start this year understanding that if you're alive and well enough to hear this podcast, understand, then be grateful for the health that you have and actually look at it from a different perspective, not with a checkup mentality, but from a perspective that you can add more to this bank account, that there is an ROI, a return on investment for the amount that you have in your bank account of health. And God gave you this bank account of health. God gave you this absolute wealth for you to go and construct the life of your dreams. And your health needs to come in first place. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your family. Your family's going to want you around for more years. Your kids are going to want you to have energy to play with them. Your kids are only going to come out as strong and as resilient as you teach them to be, as you can be around them to teach them to be. Some of you are so tired next to your kids. Some of you have no energy next to your kids that you just shove an iPad in their face so they can sit down and be quiet for a minute, so they can stop exhausting you. Some of you are so lazy to give your kids good foods, you can't withstand them asking you for the gummies and for the chips and for the pizzas and so forth, and teach them new ways of eating, because that's going to require conversation. That's going to require you sitting down, looking them in the eyes, teaching them, etc. And you're so exhausted. And here's the thing. There's a variable in health, which is a huge gift. It is the biggest gift. It is the human currency, my friends. It is the human currency to get whatever you want in this life, and it's called energy. And a better word for this, that it's more encompassing, is vitality. So let me ask you, what is your vitality in the beginning of this year? How equipped do you feel to conquer your dreams? How equipped do you feel to build the family of your dreams? How equipped do you feel to build that new business? How equipped do you feel to build that career? And I know all of you have your go through, and all of you are going through something. And I will promise you, the more health you have, the better it is. And I know what you guys do many times. You jeopardize your health, your sleep, your energy, etc., in order to accomplish more things. But I'm going to tell you guys something. Many of you are trying to accomplish more things, be more productive, perform at a higher level at the expense of your health. And guys, I have the pleasure and honor to sit down with so many high performers. I'm talking about A-list celebrities, government people, etc. Fortune, I don't know what companies. And the thing is, all of us have jeopardized our health a little bit in order to achieve our goals, including myself. Basically, in the years of medical school, I didn't sleep, and I regret that so much. But I'm going to tell you something. When you put your health in first place, and you really understand productivity, to not spend time in conversations that aren't warranted, to not spend time writing super long emails, to not spend time with people that are just sucking your energy out of you. When you understand where to put that energy is a vital resource. Your health energy is a very vital resource. And the thing is, you got to keep recharging it. But some of you guys wake up with your battery at 50% because you don't know how to recharge that battery. And you are a living battery. And what you produce on a day-to-day needs to be produced with 100% battery. So today I want to talk to you guys about getting that battery at 100%, because there's so many things destroying that battery, coming after that energy on a day-to-day, and our lack of managing our own time, knowing how to manage our own time. Many of us, me included, have to take inventory on how we're managing our time. Are you truly focused on tasks that matter? Are you spending endless amount of time scrolling through social media? Or are you using social media as a tool to edify yourself, to educate yourself, to monetize, to whatever it may be? You see what I'm saying? And it's important that you take that energy and time management, etc., and really focus on it. Guys, I'm not here to tell you, hey, let's be healthy and woo. No. I'm talking about let's perform at a higher level. Let's accomplish more things. Let's get more things done. Let's be more present. You see what I'm saying? But you need to really focus on health and energy and what that means for you. Okay? And today I want to talk about this keyword vitality, which encompasses so much more than just energy. Resilience. How much can you take and keep coming back? How many punches can you take in the mouth and keep coming back? That's very important. Where's your resilience? All these things are variants of health. But today, up until today, we don't look at health this way. We look at health as this kind of benchmark that if something goes wrong, I'm going to get a disease. And then once I get a disease, you know, my health insurance, which shouldn't be called health insurance, that thing should be called like disease insurance. And even then it's probably not the best name. Those things kick in, my traditional doctors kick in and then start to take away the symptoms, but many times don't fix the problem. No, that's old school thinking. How do I take my health and use it as a tool and a mechanism, and where I can consistently assess that framework, which is your biochemistry, that framework is your biochemistry, to work in my favor, to give me the life that I want, to give me the vision board that I want. So, my friends, vitality, health, energy, resilience, all these things, they depend on you considering what I'm going to tell you right now. Collecting data. Data is extremely important, and not the small little data that your traditional doctor collects for you. Not that kind of data. I'm talking about collecting in-depth data on your body. And there's many different variables that we can look at with data today, health data. And I want to open your guys' mind today as to where health data really is and what we can do. And it is wild, the amount of information that we can give you guys today. Did you guys know, for example, there are some friends of mine at a beautiful company that I love this company. They are my favorite laboratory on planet Earth. They're called True Diagnostic, trudiagnostic.com. Love that company. Through some of their testing, now we can estimate death with an accuracy of 95% with a delta of 5 years, plus or minus. That's pretty wild, if you ask me. We can see your rate of aging, how fast you are really aging. We can see also your lifespan and health span. Those are two different things. The quality of your life, let's say, and how long a life that you have, okay? And I know there's a lot of players out there that say crazy things in podcasts, etc., about death prediction and so forth, but this is the latest and greatest that we have as of right now. These things are being published, etc. So, but there's other things that impact your health span, lifespan, etc. So, guys, if you could increase your quality of life, your energy, your resilience, your focus, your concentration, your ability to sleep more efficiently, etc., even digest your food more efficiently, absorb your food more efficiently, don't you think, even if you don't understand anything about health, don't you think that the machine that was given to you by God, by the Creator, God the Creator, to do what you have to do on a day-to-day basis, don't you think that machine would produce more? Don't you think that machine would create more? You are creators. You were put on this planet to create. Don't you think you would do more, be more? You would. So how do you get there? You need to assess data. You assess data, especially pointing at epigenetics. And today, guys, if you've never heard this word, epigenetics, I really want to introduce this word to you guys because there's genetics, which is the genetic code you were born with. But then there's epigenetics, which is the expression of that genetic code. So those are the genes that are being expressed. And guys, every time you eat a burger or eat a broccoli or think a thought, etc., there's an epigenetic fingerprint, if you will, that's left there. So basically, we can read these epigenetic signals, kind of like reading if a light switch is turned on or off. Or another analogy is to say, hey, is the volume up or down? And how high is the volume down? Or how low is the volume, right? Which we call those signals in this space methylation or acetylation, right? Methylation being off, acetylation being on. Okay, if that signal, and then how high is that signal turned on? Guys, and genetic expression is a beautiful, beautiful field that's here to stay. And to tell you the truth, guys, I personally believe that the future of medicine will all be based on epigenetics. And there are many tests out there already based off of epigenetics, which you guys think, oh, they're collecting a stool sample or they're collecting blood work. No. They're really looking at the epigenetics, they're looking at the genes being expressed in that biological sample, whatever it may be, all the way from stool, saliva, piece of skin, blood, etc. But here's the thing. So when you look at epigenetics, to me, my favorite tool in epigenetics is to see how well you're aging, how well you are preventing damage to your DNA, because your DNA effectively is being damaged now every day. And there's more and more things damaging your DNA. So maybe you're already seeing where I'm going with this. Well, if I'm to look at my DNA, if I'm to look at my genetic expression as a garden that every day I have to take care of, as a garden every day that I have to protect from these pesky little toxins that are hurting me. Like literally people will put in vegetation herbicides, pesticides, etc. Those things are inside of you. The glyphosates and the DPTs and all that other stuff, that stuff is inside of you. And hopefully it's not inside of me because I do a lot of biohacking and cleaning of my body. But that stuff is inside of us, unfortunately. And it's dumbing down our country and our planet. It's causing more disease. And it's been around for a long time. So can you test for these things? You absolutely can. I'll say it again. You can test for a lot of these environmental agents that are hurting you and then end up hurting you epigenetically. Guys, epigenetics is the cherry on top of the cake, because if you do everything else right, you start to slow down how fast you're aging. You start to see that your DNA is getting less and less damage. And then we can see that lifespan and health span are improving over time. And guys, this is how the big name players, our A-listers, our top business people, our government people, etc., some of them are assessing their health, their production, their bodies, guys. This is the future. This is how I'm telling you guys, this is the future of medicine. It's all based off of epigenetics. For you finance people out there, I like to say epigenetics is the new digital currency. It is the new crypto. Guys, because it allows you to do so much. And we could do another podcast totally based off of epigenetics. I could call some epigenetic scientists here to talk to you guys a little bit about like how you can, with AI, how you can do so many different things with epigenetics. But what I want to bring your guys' attention today, because I know there's all kinds of different people listening to this, what I want to bring your guys' attention today is how much data you can collect and modify to your benefit to impact your life epigenetically to your benefit, where you will all of a sudden start to see you're producing more. And it's like, wait, if I improve my biology, that's going to improve my life. I'm not only talking about biology, I'm talking about epigenetics. Epigenetics, guys, your thoughts, your beliefs will express the better genes or the worst genes of your life. You want a clear freaking example? I'm going to drop the mic on you right now. Placebo. There's people that take a sugar pill and their belief is that they took a real pill and that pill is going to cure them or going to heal them or going to take away the pain, the symptoms, whatever. And what happens? They improve themselves. And guys, placebo is a core tenet in traditional medicine. It's used in research. It's used in all areas of traditional medicine. One of the most hard to believe and assess things, which to me has always been placebo, and I love it. I had a hard time wrapping my head around that. I'm like, wait, this person had a fake surgery. You cover them, you stain them with blood, etc., and they think they're fixed or cured, or this person took a pill and thinks that they're better. That was always very hard for me to assess, especially I did a full year of research at a big name hospital in the U.S. The placebo's talked about a lot. And now years later, understanding epigenetics, I'm like, wow, the power of belief. That's why there's a great doctor that I really like. He's a PhD, Dr. Bruce Lipton. He has a book called The Biology of Belief and a whole series on this. And absolutely true. Your belief can literally not change your DNA, but wake up the best version of your DNA. Wake up the framework that you have inside of you, your code for all you software developers, programmers out there. It can code the best code for you to produce in the best fashion. Do you understand how powerful this is? Guys, health isn't a checkup. Forget that. That's old. That's very, 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 very old. There's a new way to look at health, which is through epigenetics. But then how do you improve those epigenetics? You have to understand the data that's downstream to that. You have to understand the data that you need to collect and improve that's downstream to that. And here's the thing. It's not only about collecting data, because there are some really good clinics, companies, laboratories, et cetera, across the United States that know how to collect data. But my question is, talking about gut, leaky gut, et cetera. Leaky gut. You collect the data for leaky gut. You see that there's breaks in the gut barrier, right? You have issues with zonulin and cytoskeleton barriers are broken, and I'm not going to get too detailed on this. lipopolysaccharide, all that stuff, right? I don't want to get too detailed and too nebulous. I want to keep this a little high level today, right? There's a lot of people who can collect that information, but who can fix it? That's the thing. And why is it important to fix your gut? Well, there's a beautiful topic called psychobiotics. I'll say it again, psychobiotics. It's where your gut and your brain are connected. A lot of your neurotransmitter balance in your brain depends on your gut. Think about that for a second. Your gut is your second brain. So if you don't have a well-functioning gut, well, your second brain's not working right. Well, what do I need in life to execute everything that I want to execute, to achieve all my goals? Well, you need a good brain. Start there. So if your second brain isn't working, well, that might be a little bit of a problem. But these details are too small, and you chuck it up to, nah, it's in my head and so forth. No. No. When you start to collectively put all this data together, when you start to collect the data for the gut, your microbiome, right? Because gut barrier is one thing, microbiome is another thing. Microbiome is now considered an organ by the World Health Organization. Think about that for a second. When you start to collect data on neurotransmitters in your brain, right? I can talk a whole week just about what I just said, neurotransmitters in your brain. Because you go to a psychiatrist, and based off of your symptoms, what you tell the psychiatrist and his opinion, which is basically operator dependent, how he interprets, understands, quantifies, qualifies what you're telling him, he's going to diagnose you with something. And where he's getting those guidelines are from DSM, the Diagnostic Statistic Manual, version number 5 of psychiatry. Okay? But he's not going to measure, quantify, or qualify anything other than his subjective opinion of what you're saying. Of course, he's going off of guidelines. He's not pulling this out of you-know-where. He's going off of guidelines, right? How to diagnose depression, how to diagnose anxiety, how to diagnose panic attack, how to diagnose this, that. But he's going to medicate you with medications that will alter your neurotransmitters. So you go to a cardiologist, you ask the cardiologist, hey, how's my ejection fraction? That means how much blood your heart's pumping out. And it has to be over 55%. And he says, oh, it's lower than 55%. Oh, shoot, I'm in heart failure, right? Whatever. Or you go to an orthopedist and it's like, hey, my knee hurts. Well, yeah, let's do an MRI. MRI comes back, oh, you hurt your meniscus, you transected your ACL, et cetera. It's quantifiable, it's reproducible, et cetera. The psychiatrist, no. The psychiatrist doesn't do that for you. I really believe in understanding that person's neurotransmitter imbalances. I really believe in understanding that person's even brain scans, etc. There has to be something more quantifiable and reproducible in psychiatry. And many times a person thinks they're having a psychiatric issue and they're having an endocrinological issue. They're having a hormone imbalance. I think it's a sin that endocrinology and psychiatry don't speak together. And to tell you the truth, I think all specialties should speak together because sometimes they're so specialized, they're specialized in nothing, and they're so disconnected that they're connected in nothing. And the body should be treated as a whole. We're such a stickler on this. Even for dentistry, because we have holistic dentistry in our company, Biohax, we talk about how you should never go to a doctor that sees a body without a mouth or go to a dentist that sees a mouth without a body. It's extremely connected. So in assessing your health and assessing your data, yes, you have to understand your oral health. Your oral health is extremely important. Okay? Do you have mercury fillings? Do you have, what kind of implants do you have, et cetera, et cetera. It's super important. Your oral health is also very important. So gut health, oral health, mental health, hormonal health, all these things need to be assessed. Your micronutrient health. So what levels of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, amino acids are in your body? Guys, if you, for example, have variations in your genetic pathways, which that should be assessed too. What are your genes? Do you have the COMT gene? Do you have the COMT gene? If you have this gene, you're a worrier. It's called, not warrior, worrier. You worry. But it also can predispose you to little arrhythmias, little PVCs, where your heart skips a beat, or even people with AFib, etc. Do cardiologists assess for this? No. I know one cardiologist that assesses for this, very smart guy. Former 3 times interventional triple board certified, interventional cardiologist that now dedicates his time to metabolic cardiology, which is awesome. And that's a whole topic in and of itself. Metabolic cardiology, I think, is the coolest thing, right? And if you guys want to go read on this, Dr. Thomas Levy, which is a cardiologist and an attorney, has a great work on this. Dr. Thomas Levy, great literature on this. And he connects very well oral health and cardiac health. So, and like I said, guys, like I've already touched on so many things. We could go deep on a lot of these topics. We won't for today. We're just going to go superficial because I want to set your guys' sight on a new year at high performance, but on a new year where you actually step on the mountain of life, take inventory on your goals, and understand that those goals are intimately dependent on your health, or understand that you're jeopardizing your health and that health is intimately dependent on you understanding the data that represents the health that you have and that you can improve that. And the ultimate piece of data that you want to improve is your epigenetic data, which is the rate of aging, which is what effectively measures your lifespan and health span, guys. But for you to do that, you need to understand the environmental toxins that are plaguing you. You need to understand the lack of resources that you have at the level of micronutrients, which is vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, amino acids, etc. You need to understand how unbalanced are your hormones, how much are you being attacked from environmental toxins that effectively serve as endocrine disruptors that are hurting your hormones. How many xenoestrogen, guys, which are environmental estrogens, are you being plagued with? How many even sexual interference chemicals are you being plagued with? Like, for example, atrazine. Go look up atrazine and the effects of atrazine on frogs. It changes their sexuality, and it's present in all over U.S. water. It's a problem. It is a problem. Can we test for these things? We can test for these things. Can we eliminate these things? We can. And that's what I want to call your guys' attention to, because it's not only about how you test, but how well you can fix these problems. And that's something that our crew at Biohax has become really good at. I don't call them a team of clinicians anymore. I call them a team of artists, because these guys are good. Okay? And as you start this year, I want you to implant in your mind, I'm going to start this year by collecting data on my body, not just the checkup. And I went to the doctor and he said everything was fine. And you got the proverbial pat on the butt and this false sense of assurance that you're A-okay. Because that's not true. That's not true. And you know it's not true. And to tell you the truth, it's almost like somebody's lying to you because they're obscuring the reality. We're not telling you the whole picture, sometimes because they don't know how to read the whole picture, which unfortunately a lot of our doctors are still under that veil that medicine has put in front of all. Well, I was exposed to this, but many of us were exposed to this. But the truth is, and the good news is that many doctors are waking up to this, and I'm a big proponent that more and more doctors should wake up to this. So, guys, as this year starts, give yourself the gift of what we call the Titan. The Titan is our biggest screening here at Biohax, okay? And I put this thing together, and it's an ever-evolving screening. It is a massive screening. So things like full body MRI, clearly.com, or clearlyhealth.com, I believe their website is. Go check them out. We do their testing. So that is the artificial intelligence to understand how much plaque is inside your coronaries. And your coronaries are the main arteries of your heart. And if they get clogged, you get a heart attack. And sometimes the first symptom of that is death. Right. So that's something you can check. And before it was like, oh, I have a really good calcium score. Calcium scores are old. When your heart calcifies plaque, that means it doesn't know what to do with the thing, so it calcified it so it doesn't cause an issue. You don't want soft plaque. And what you really don't want is soft and inflamed plaque that flies off. Did you know more than 50% of heart attacks are caused with less than 50% occlusion in the coronaries? Think about that for a second. And then you're worried about cholesterol and LDL. Those are not bad for you guys. 80% of your cholesterol is made by your body. How is cholesterol bad for you? Your steroid hormones are all, not some, all of them, unequivocally, None of them are left out. All your steroid hormones are made from cholesterol. So if you don't have cholesterol, you're not making steroid hormones properly. How is cholesterol bad for you? Sure, you have different kinds of cholesterols that in the recipe of cooking up a atheroma, atherosclerotic plaque, if those cholesterols are oxidized, which we test for that, to see which cholesterols are oxidized, and most namely, you have specific types of cholesterols that you don't want to be oxidized, okay? And you lipoprotein fractionate these cholesterols, so you break down the cholesterols and truly take inventory on these cholesterols. That's a different story, guys. But cholesterol is not the culprit, nor is even LDL, And there's more and more studies showing where there's advantages to have high LDL. And there's people with high LDLs in their latter years of life that never had a heart attack. And there's people with very suppressed levels of LDL that have had heart attacks. So LDL is also not the culprit, guys. And as you take inventory in these things, full body MRIs, in the things in our Titan panels, the clearly, the neurotransmitter imbalances, the gut, the autoimmune tests where you could see if your body's starting to develop inflammation. Okay, inflammation to the level where it's attacking itself. That's why it's called autoimmune. And boy, guys, I just touched this topic. I could talk probably a whole month on just autoimmune stuff. Basically, the assessment of your immune system to assess the agents that are attacking your immune system, the agents and how inflamed is your immune system to a point where it's attacking itself, where it's autoimmunity, or causing cancers, and to assess the resources that your immune system needs to function well. Guys, you're not aging, you're inflammaging. I'll say it again, you're not aging, you're inflammaging. The process of dying is losing the resilience to your immune system, is largely based in losing the resilience to your immune system, is largely based in losing the immune efficiency that you were given. Think about that for a second. Your immune system is a garden that needs to be taken care of. Now, if you're starting to show signs of autoimmunity, that means there's been war in your system at a strong pace for an extended amount of time. But can these things be slowed down and even in some cases reversed? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. But you need to take inventory. You need to take inventory and understand how these things work. So, guys, understanding what a Titan screen, well, we just call it a Titan screening. I've never seen this anywhere else. So we just put this whole thing together in order to give our clients, even my family, a target where they know, hey, every year, let me do a Titan, let me do a Titan, let me do a Titan, because it's this ever-evolving and growing monster of a screening that I'm personally building. We've had thousands of people do this screening, and this is a screening, guys, that many times has saved lives because we catch different kinds of things. And this is a screening, guys, that some people hasn't saved their lives, but it has improved their life. It has given them back more life. It has given them back more to their families. And consistently and always I hear people telling me, hey, man, I'm producing more, I'm doing more, start a new business, I'm spending more time with my family. I'm just being more of who I want to be. So in this year, take this year to take inventory, guys. Collect data. Start by collecting data on your health. Understand your health is the tool to achieve the resources you want to achieve in this life, guys, because the ultimate wealth is not in your bank account. It's not diamonds. It's not golds. It's not watches. It's not cars, planes. The ultimate wealth is your health, and treat it with care, because that is the gift that God gave you. And it's the biggest gift the Creator can give you is your health. Treat it with care and love on it. And take inventory on it and improve it. Start by collecting data this year, and to improve your health, understand that the ultimate wealth is your health.